Good evening, everyone. You're all very welcome to Underground Cinema. We've been hosting a number of interviews with the nominees for the 13th Underground Cinema Awards now for the past couple of days. And I'm delighted to say that tonight we have some of the crew that are responsible for the Cathedral. Now, the Cathedral's been nominated for 4 awards this year for Best Horror Film, Best Sound, Best Cinematographer, and Best Editor. You're very welcome, guys. Good to see you all.
Yeah.
So we got Joe Palmer with us. Joe is the producer.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, Joe's the producer of the film. Turlock is the director of the film, and Greg is the cinematographer on the film. So, listen, you're all very, very welcome. We really enjoyed the film when we saw it there a couple of months back when you sent it through to us. We're big fans of horror, so you could. We've got a horror category in the awards. We put the horror category in about 7 years ago because we just noticed that an awful lot of horror films were being made in Ireland, and it deserved its own category. And you did a fantastic job on this particular piece. Our assistant director Paul Ward is a big horror fan, so he thought it was a great movie. So, Turlock, maybe you can tell us a little bit about the movie and what give us a synopsis on it.
Okay, well, I hope you can hear me okay this time, Dave.
We can hear you.
So the film is based off an old... Brilliant. There might be a bit of a delay. But anyway, the film is based off an old legend, and which is from around the period of 1458, around that. And basically, it's loosely based now, I might add. But it's about a priest, the film is, who has his own demons inside himself that he has to battle with. And then a demon that's actually haunting the church or the cathedral, that comes back every 100 years to try and steal a soul, decides to try and steal this priest's soul. And so it's a story about the battle of the wills, I guess.
Fantastic. And why don't we play the trailer and show everybody a little bit of what it's all about?
The sleeping bell, it tolls. Through the icy shroud it sings, its peal a saddened beat, looking for the souls. To your breath your body clings, to the beating of your heart. In the darkness hides a figure, ready to tear your mind apart. Watch your step, watch your thoughts, for he will weave them thin. And when you think you vanquished sin, he'll pounce from deep within.
Pretty cool trailer, I have to say. Really catches you. Where was the film shot, guys?
It was shot in a few locations. So there was a church in the Claddagh in Galway. Originally, when we first started shooting this in 2019, we were doing it in, correct me if I'm wrong, to like St. John's Cathedral in Limerick. And as well as that we had a house. It was a really old estate house near Scariff. And for some of the external shots that are meant to be in between the priest's house and the church, there's a set of woods near where I live in Kilcoggan. So those were the 4 locations that we filmed in.
Fantastic. Over how many days was the film shot?
Well, that's kind of debatable because we started filming, like I said, in 2019. So we got some footage from 2019, and then we took a break from it for a while, and we picked it back up in 2021, and that's when we just went hell for leather and we shot the whole thing in about a week. So it was probably 5 days of night shoots in the middle of the summer, which was kind of a pain because you only have about maybe 4.5, 5 hours of no sunlight in Ireland during the summertime. But we got it done, and everybody worked really freaking hard, cast and crew, to make it happen. An unbelievable amount of sacrifice.
Yeah, you got two really strong actors there. You got Nigel Mercer and Michael Irwin. How are they to work with, Turlock?
So I believe your question was about Nigel. You're breaking up a lot on me there, so I'm sorry about that. So Nigel's a great guy to work with. I love working with Nigel. He's a fantastic actor, and I met Nigel at the Richard Harris Film Festival. He actually came up and introduced himself to me, and I guess we just clicked. And Nigel has always been a great person for supporting local talent, and because I was a student at the time in the local university, and I asked him, would he act in the film? And he said yes, he would. And so when the footage was lost from the original shoot, it was an accident on we had an editor and he lost the footage. I rang Nigel up and I said, look, COVID is kind of, we're starting to come out the other side of COVID. Will we reshoot this? And he said, yeah, let's do it. So that's when we got the team together and we reshot it. But Nigel is a dream to work with. I'm a nitpicker. So we have a joke that he's like a robot, I can program him. So he's a fantastic actor. I'm very lucky to have him. And same with Michael Irwin. They're very hardworking people.
Yeah, they bounced off each other really well. I mean, they both have their features look really well. The way the film was lit, I have to say, looked really well, Greg. You captured it so well. You captured the atmosphere. That sort of tailored along with the sound design. It sort of had your grip from start to finish, which is the object of the film. But what camera were you using, Greg?
I think we used a Blackmagic. It was such a long time ago. It was a Blackmagic, I think 4K, wasn't it, Turla? And or 6, I don't even remember. But yeah, I was very lucky to be able to see what Turlock was seeing in front of in his mind. I think I just got on to the frequency where the images were in his head, and I was able to translate that onto into practical terms, and of course the collaboration where you put a little bit onto it, and you give the director options. If we do it this way, then it might mean a little bit different. Do you want to do that or no? And so on and so forth.
Yeah, no, I think you did a fantastic job. I was watching it very, very closely. Like some of your floor shots right the way through the pews were really, really well. But again, the lighting was superb. You really captured the atmosphere, really, really, really well. So, yeah, fantastic. The sound design, Turlock, was brilliant. So that's half the battle. So once you got once you got in the countdown, you're off to the edit suite, and you did an incredible job on the sound design. Was it difficult?
Thank you. So we knew from the outset when it came to the sound. I made that call that the only audio we keep from the film would be the actual dialogue audio. Everything else would be so. In fact, everything you watch in that film has been done in a studio afterwards. Yeah, it was difficult. In fact, that was actually what the most time was spent on was the sound design. I mean, if you go back and you look at the actual edit, just the layers of audio files that you can see in the timeline is just, I think it averaged around 111 tracks. So yeah, it was, but you know, and as well as that, originally when I rewrote the script, I wanted to play with the idea of using loud sounds and quiet sounds with next to no music. And because from my experience that it's actually never the visuals that make you scared, it's the audio. Okay. For instance, when you watch a scary film, I've amount of people who tell me that they turn off the audio because then they don't find it scary anymore. So the images actually are never scary. It's the audio. So that's what we wanted to play with. That kind of quiet sounds mixed with big sounds that are usually shouldn't be big. For instance, water running or the sound of steam. That's usually a sound you don't hear. But we really amplified that to make it seem odd. So yeah.
It's interesting that you said you spend an awful lot of time in the edit suite, and I mentioned this in an interview I did earlier on today. We've noticed an enormous amount of films that have come into us that the production values have gone up a notch. They've gone up another level, and what we noticed is when you're working on a short film, the goal is to get it into as many film festivals as you possibly can. In Ireland, probably the film festival everybody's trying to get into is Galway. It's a fantastic film festival, and I think if you get your short into Galway, it's a fantastic achievement. But what can happen is people can race their films, and when you start racing your film, you drop the ball. So you can make mistakes in the edit suite. The sound could be wrong, continuity could be wrong. Just to get that film into the festival. And what we noticed this year was that people, because of the lockdown, people were able to spend more time at home in front of the monitor, and they were taking their time on their short films and in the edit suite. And as a result, we're getting some incredible films that are looking really, really well, on top of some really, really good scripts. So would you say I'm trying to put a negative into 2 years of lockdown, but do you think this film would have been made throughout? It started in 2019, then you had a disaster, you lost your editor, lost your files, and then you had to reshoot. But do you feel that maybe the lockdown in some weird sort of way helped you post-production, I mean?
So the biggest amount of post-production actually happened really a little bit, I suppose, after the real intense lockdowns. I mean, when I actually went into post, we weren't under the thumb of the lockdowns at that stage. Things had eased up a lot, so we were very lucky because some other countries were still, locked down. But I think that for me, the lockdowns gave me a real good chance to actually pull everyone together, because I will always say this, people can concentrate on the production as much as they want. They can concentrate on the post-production, but if you don't concentrate on the pre-production, the paperwork, the floor plans, the countless meetings of making sure that everyone's on the same page, then it doesn't matter what you do when you hit the ground running. If you haven't done your preparation right, then everything else is just going to be, it's like a domino effect. It's just going to go downhill from there. So for me, the lockdowns gave me a chance to really pull everyone together because everyone had time. And we were able to really organize ourselves to a really good standard. Because you have to remember, this film, we had no budget for this film. So this is a completely zero budget film. So to be able to reach the level we wanted to reach, we had to put a lot of preparation into it, And look, there are mistakes in the film. You're always going to have those. But I think regarding what we had to work with, okay, the times we had to work at, the fact that we didn't have a budget, and I'm very proud. The team really pulled it off. I'm very proud of them and what they achieved.
I would also like to underline that because I found that before, like the preparation of the visuals, it was a tremendous help to me to be able to get inside Turlock's head, and it was a lot cheaper, obviously, to shoot on paper, basically, than than to having to find out everything there on the day. That, yeah. So he's right. Yeah.
Turlock, you're also up for best editor as well, because I mean you can see it in the film. There's a huge amount of work gone into it. As an editor and as a writer and as a director, an editor's got to be ruthless. And when you're also the director and the writer, do you find it difficult then in the edit suite, chopping away at stuff that that you'd really like to keep in?
So, yeah. So, well, not really, because I'm one of these people that I once I have a plan, I stick to it. There was one or two shots that I would have loved to have put in, but they just weren't. I wasn't happy enough with them. There was a few. There was a focus problem at one stage, and I knew that, okay, on a phone or a television you won't notice it, but the moment you put it on a cinema screen, it'll be very, very evident. So I just said, look, we want this film to reach a certain level of quality. It won't get there if I'm putting in shots that aren't going to work. So the way I worked was from a very quality-based frame of mind. And so I wasn't kind of falling into that trap, because I've fallen into that trap before. So I learned the hard way.
Yeah.
So yeah, but this project also taught me that, I don't think I would ever edit a drama again, because, for instance, my friend Martha Diagiovanni, she's a really talented editor. She's an avid editor. And, when you see her working and how she works, you can really see that's an editor. I wouldn't count myself as an editor. I'm a director and a DOP, and that's where it stops. I can edit, but I wouldn't count myself an editor.
Well, look, I think you did a fantastic job, hence the nomination, Turlock. So, well done. So, Joe, tell me what's the plans now for the movie now at the moment? Obviously, you're on the festival circuit now at the moment.
Yeah, that's it. It's right in the middle of its festival run. I think there's probably maybe about it's at the 50% mark, really. So I guess we'll see how well it does, and then from there, who knows?
What's the audience reaction been so far, Joe? Have you been to many of the screenings so far?
Haven't been to many of the screenings, but
Yep.
From the festivals, their feedback has always been good. This particular film has won best horror, best film in several different festivals, and of course, um, that goes for the entire team for everything that they put into it, including like Martin Cassidy, who actually brought with him all the lights that we used. He had airy lights and everything like that. But of course, Nigel Mercier, he's won Best Actor and been nominated Best Actor in this for multiple festivals, which he truly deserves, because uh, he's absolutely perfect in it. You don't buy any of the tension or any of the suspense without his physical acting, which he nails. But so from the responses from everybody, it's largely the film is awesome as a whole. There's a couple of things in there that people aren't excited about, but as a whole, they enjoy the film and they think it's a quality horror. And secondly, the performance of the acting is another thing that's brought up. So that's pretty good feedback that we've been getting.
Well, absolutely. I mean, the fact that you've got we get an awful lot of horror films in. It's one of the biggest genres for us. So we narrowed it down to 5 this year. So well done. We all really enjoyed it. So what's the plans in the future? Would we see a feature maybe in the future, Turlock?
Sorry, Dave, could you just repeat that?
Yeah, sure. I was just wondering what's your plans for the future? Have you another short in mind, or are you going to entertain us with a feature film?
So I have two shorts in mind. One that I'm hoping to get done before Christmas. The other one I won't be shooting that till winter of next year because it's a very ambitious one. It involves marionette puppets and stuff. But yeah, I am currently working on a feature, getting script development and stuff. And so, yeah, it's it's busy, but we'll see what happens, But definitely the two shorts, one will be shot before Christmas, edited probably in January, to ready for entering into the festival runs early in the year. And then the other one I'll work later in the year. And then the feature one, just keep plugging away at that. You know yourself, it's not always an easy door to kick down, but you have to keep kicking.
Absolutely. Well, look, guys, I'm delighted that you joined me tonight for a chat. Congratulations on your nominations this year. If you haven't been to the awards before, it's an absolutely fantastic night. We're really looking forward to the night. And I wish you all the very best of luck in all your projects that is coming up in the near future. Okay,
Thanks
guys.
very much, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you all. Good night.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.